Okay, so now we are live, and I would at first check the different platforms if all of them are working well, and then I would welcome everyone who is watching the live.
Okay.
I'm just still checking all of the platforms because when you go live from like StreamYard, you have
Yeah.
to like I have to like separately go to each of the platform to check if they're working correctly.
Okay. Yeah.
I did get a notification on Facebook.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Just do your hosting thing and let me know when I have to say something.
Yeah, sure. Fixed one. We would wait for like 5 more minutes for people to join in, and then we can start.
Yeah, sure.
I will go on and share this to the our DMC group. If the people who are watching and they don't know about the DMC group, it is the Digital Marketing Club of the Shortcut. So you can join there, and we host all of these events on different topics around digital marketing. And we would always love your feedback and your suggestions on what topics you want us to cover. Okay, we can wait for 2 more minutes, I guess, and then we start.
Can you see anywhere how many people are on?
Yeah, I think you can see on the top. Are you able to see?
No, I don't think we can.
You guys are not able to see.
I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe you logged in or signed up for this thing or something. Not really sure.
okay. Okay. But I can like see on the left side here on the top of my screen.
Okay.
I can just take like screenshots to mark the number of presentations. I mean participants.
I'm assuming it's millions. Don't worry. You don't need to.
It is quite close to like millions.
Okay, I think let's start.
Yeah. Yeah, now we can start. Now there are around 35 people, so we can start now and then give more time for more people to join in. Well, welcome everyone to another DMC session. And today we have Aleksi and one of my co-hosts again, Namrata. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great. So today we will be talking about building your company Instagram profile, and we have Aleksi with you. So with us, and so Aleksi, if you would take the stage and describe about yourself, tell a little bit about your background and how you became interested in marketing, your whole journey to here.
Sure. I could go to the slides if that's better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's-
you can start sharing the screen and I'll just add it to the stream.
Perfect.
Are you, just to check, are you guys able to check the comments also? On the right? On the right side.
yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Perfect. It's a little weird again because I don't have an external monitor right now, so I can't see nothing but my presentation. So it feels like I'm talking to myself. But yeah, so this is gonna be again. I'm gonna say this is gonna be really weird for me. So I'm just right off the bat. I'm gonna tell that people, if you can, just ask questions away. Stop me at any point you want. So have like a fluid conversation, and it seems less weird to me that I'm talking to myself. This is such a 2020 thing, like I just said earlier. But sure. So today we're going to talk about Instagram as a business, or I'm going to talk about Instagram as a business. Basically, building up your profile and what are the best practices today. And this is mostly through. I've garnered a lot of this knowledge through my own company and through various different kind of companies that I work, from startups, like early stage startups, to middle stage, to scale ups, to even bigger corporate companies, and not just in Finland but abroad as well, where I have worked. So I feel like I have a little bit of advantage there, that I've seen a little bit from different sides of the globe, and how this social media sphere, as they say, has developed over time and keeps evolving, as they say. But so who am I? This is okay. I totally forgot that I have these funny things that the text comes in. So apologies for these. I feel like these are going to take forever sometimes. So I'm just going to put them all out there. So who am I? These are a little buzzword heavy, but I consider myself an international, even though I am a Finnish person, fully Finnish 100%, but I've been raised abroad. So that's mainly where a lot of my insights, of everyday life comes from. I have my own company, which focuses on content creation. I founded the company now just over 3 years ago. So I work as a freelancer, as they like to say. Clients for me include Aalto University, which I'm sure everybody knows, Iso Omena, the mall over here in Espoo, then Stora Enso, which is one of the Finnish bigger companies, and multiple smaller and mid-sized companies, not only Finland again, and abroad as well. So I've had managed to travel abroad and so on for my work. And I don't only do content creation in the form of photography and videography. I also do actually help out these companies with social media as a kind of like a side product for my company. So not only do I actually take photos and videos for these companies, I kind of give them insights also how to share them on social media to maximize the potential of whatever the goal is for the companies to do, to use my content on their platforms. So with that said, obviously I'm a social media enthusiast. This is super buzzword heavy. Agile social first content is the kind of content I say I like to work with. I've come up with this term myself, or that's what I like to think. So if you want to use it, go ahead. But by that, I mean that my content that I create and that I work with is agile in the sense that you can post it on any platform and it should work. So we're not talking only about Instagram, we're talking about Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. Maybe I could quickly tell, I'm going to close the screen like this because I like to see people's faces. It makes me feel so much better, which is a very Finnish thing, I think. So if you guys want to know quickly my background story of how I got into social media, I told the story like 5 minutes ago to Namrata and Waqif. basically, I didn't realize until I was in university. I started university a little bit later than others, so I didn't go straight out of high school to university. I went and just studied a business program because that's what I thought you have to do, study business. I had no idea if that's the field I want to work in, or what you can work within that field, or the things you can do. So you can do sales, marketing, etc., etc. Within my second year, they told me I have to go get internships and so on, and I had no idea what to do as an internship. And I just figured, okay, this is my opportunity to actually like get my foot into a legit company and maybe build myself up from there. So now it's time to figure out what I want to do. And I just thought to myself, the most simple way is that if I could do something for the rest of my life, what is that I would do? That, because that's essentially the thing that we all want to do, even though not everybody wants to admit it. Do something that you love to do every day. So I just thought that, what do I do every day? And I just quickly thought that, I'm on Instagram and Facebook every day. This was back in like 2012, 13 maybe. And I decided to make it my job. So I applied for internships within that field. And my first internship was as a traveling blogger in Southeast Asia. So I exchanged at that time in Thailand. And I managed to secure a really awesome job as a traveling blogger for a company. So they basically, yeah, go ahead.
What was what were the things that you were doing that some company would contact you? Because I think like a lot of people would relate to this, because they're also like, I'm also using Facebook and Instagram the whole single day. And then like, what were the things that stood you out, and like, how would like you connect with different companies from there?
So do you mean like when I was studying or after I had founded my business? Which time?
So like when you got the like how did you look for the job, and like how did you go like as a travel blogger?
So I was a little bit lucky, which is unfortunately a really common answer in these instances. There is no one answer that, hey, you can go on this website and it's 100% certain that you will find a job there. It just doesn't work like that. I'm sure everybody knows that. I was lucky in the sense that I had lived already in Asia multiple years before that. And this one guy, he just reached out to me because he saw that I was exchanging there, and he had a few businesses there. He was a Finnish guy. He had a few businesses in Thailand, and he just saw that I was some Finnish guy who was exchanging, and I had traveled quite a bit during my exchange year and posting a lot of pictures on my Facebook and Instagram. And he just asked like, hey, would you want to help out? And somehow he had found my blog that I worked on for one course in Hagahelia when I studied in university, which is super random. Till this day, I have no idea how he found that out, because for that course, it wasn't for anybody else. So he said he liked it and he wanted me to do work for him like that. And I said, of course. So I did a 5-month internship. It was supposed to be only 2 months, but we extended to 5 months. Then on top of that, while I was working that internship, I did another internship. So I actually worked 2 jobs at the same time in Thailand while I was exchanging in an office, in a corporate office for a really famous health and resort spa. And I was a social media marketing intern there. And the reason I got that job was because I knew that at some point I'm going to have to work in an office, or I'm going to at least have to try to work in an office. Then I can cross that out and be like, office jobs won't be for me, because that's what I always thought to myself. And I set it out, and I was kind of correct at that point, which is ironic because I'm sitting in office right now. So I basically, just as quick as I could, I covered all the bases just based off of like what I want to do and what I think I like to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And also like it makes so much sense because, like you were posting contents all the time. So the consistency that you had actually resulted into something much better. So like any startup or like any companies or even an individual, when they're posting and people like, this networking skills on Instagram, people do it with 10 people, 20 people, and they're like, holy shit, this doesn't even work. But like they don't understand that it's the 97th person, it's the 99th person, it's the 101th person.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you just keep putting yourself out there, meaning that for me, it's just posting content, like, and trying to up my content with each post that I do, that I post, meaning that I try to make it better than the last post. That's kind of what helped me out, and that's what helped me get recognized, because then people, they can look back, whether it's a month or 2 years back on my content and go like, yo, this guy has improved a lot. Like, he is doing some quality stuff. It's right there in front of them for them to then reach out to me and, hey, you know, could you do some work for me? That's how it works. Obviously, you do have to do some pitching yourself, or a lot of pitching, and you're going to get struck out many times. But like I said, I got lucky. It happens. But also, I don't think it's fair to say that it's lucky, because I was kind of, I forced my hand into that luck. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now we can move back to the company Instagram profile building.
Perfect.
Would you like me to share it to the stream?
Yes. So you can share the slides. So there was a reminder here, myself, to tell everybody to keep asking questions and be part of this, because that's my thing. I want to answer your questions, so I'm not just talking here about myself only. I want to help out people here. So what are we doing here today? Instagram business profile building. So my first question is always, I don't want to start it from completely the beginning. I'm sure people know how to make an Instagram profile and so on. But a big question that I want always people to ask is like, what is the intention of your profile? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Now, if you can give me concrete answers to those, I think it's easier to start building that profile. Now, saying something like, yeah, well, I want to post pictures because, you know, we have to get our company's name out there is not an answer to me. That doesn't sound like something that's, you know, it's not tangible. It's not something that's going to actually, like, what are you going to get out of it, right? So, you know, sure, I could say that I want to make an Instagram and get noticed, and then people buy my product. Well, yeah, but there's a lot of steps in between. So again, that's not really an answer to me necessarily. For example, if I used myself, my company, for example, I would say that, what is my intention? Well, I'm a photographer and a videographer. Wherever I post the pictures, especially Instagram, that is a platform that is made for people like that, and to get noticed, and, you know, to get jobs and to get leads and so on. So there's a direct correlation of what the intention is, and do I really need it? Yes, I do really need it. And then again, next question, which really coincides with the intent. What is your goal? What do you want out of it? A goal for Instagram, for example, it shouldn't be necessary. Most likely it shouldn't be, hey, I want to make money, or I want our product to be sold. Instagram is something that, most likely is going to be supporting the sales. However else, you're going to be doing the sales in another way. You're not going to be doing the selling on Instagram, if that makes sense. And, you know, is it a benefit, or will it waste time? So a time waste is something that I would say in the instance of, hey, I want to make an Instagram because I want people to buy my product. I think that's a time waste, because now you're not really thinking about it. There's no direct, you know, okay, but what kind of content are you going to post to sell your product? Because you can't buy things on Instagram, right? You're going to have to direct them somewhere else. So in that sense, I would say now you're just wasting your time. Why don't you just make a website and then link that? That's the same thing. Next slide. By the way, these are all my photos. It's a shameless plug to myself. So because I'm a photographer, I will be using my own photos. Not to sound cocky, but so let me just here. Okay, so getting started, the biography. This is the main thing that I like to talk about. I wish I had like a concrete example of an Instagram profile here. I didn't actually think this one out too well, but If you guys go on it, I'm gonna open my phone at the same time, so I don't just talk something super random. So an Instagram biography, we all know what that is. It's, you know, under your name, all the things that said something about your company. So I like to break it down like 3 different things. So it's, you're trying to mention 3 different things on your biography to market yourself on Instagram. And the first question is, I like to ask people or think to myself if I'm making my own biography or for a company I'm making, is that what makes you so great? You know, highlight what is so great about you, and that should be one of the lines in your biography, a short just description of what makes your company great. You can obviously, you know, perk this a little bit up like every company does, or if yourself to make yourself seem even better than it is, but don't lie, obviously. So for example, if you go to my profile, you could see that I am a creator of a series called Gangsta. So it's my YouTube show that I have created from scratch, where I interview celebrities and their sneaker collections. So this is something that's like a pet project of mine. I think it's great. If you go on it, you can see high value production. You can see that we put a lot of time into it. We have famous guests on it. So I think this is something that people end up on this. They'll be like, whoa, that's really actually great. This guy knows how to make videos, and like he has a brain for this. And Surrogate TV is the company that I'm working for. That's where I'm sitting at right now, the office. If you go their profile, Instagram profile, the first thing that says is that we have over 10K, 10,000 monthly players. So that's
I'll share the link in the comment section so that people can check from there also.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yep.
So this again. Yeah. So Surrogate TV, over 10,000 monthly players. That's a headline grabber. You end up on this profile, you go like, wait, there's over 10,000 people on this page, this website, playing some games, and I've never even heard of it. I have to go check it out. So that's how it kind of works. How it works. And then the next line is, what do you do? What does fundamentally the company do? And then you make it sound special or different. So Surrogate TV, they do real life gaming over the internet. Now you read that, it doesn't really say much, but if you dig deeper into it, like if you go into the feed and so on, you'll start realizing that, oh, like you guys make real games that you play over the internet, like real physical games that are sitting in your office, and I can play them from anywhere. And same thing is me. I always have my location because I do a lot of traveling for photography, videography, and work kind of things. I always change the location depending where I'm at around the world. So I think that's kind of the headline grabber of what do I do? Oh, so this guy travels. Why does he travel? So you go down my feed, you see that there's very good pictures, there's very good video. So most likely this guy does something to do with content creation and photography and videography. So those are already 2 lines that are really headline grabbers in your biography to tell about your company, a little bit about your company and what's so great about it. And then the last one is direct them somewhere. So this is the beginning of funnel in a sense. So for example, my profile, I have a direct link to a YouTube video that I did on one of my travels. Now I'm forcing them to go on another site that is my personal site, and maybe I can get more followers there, more engagement there as well. For our company, Surrogate TV, I tell them, join and play our games for free. For free is the key buzzword there, because you know you don't have to pay anything. And then you go on the link and you go check it out if it's true. And now they're in the funnel. So those are the 3 things that are I like to put on a biography to kind of show, like, capture people's attention, because the biography is the first thing you see. You know, because you only see maybe, is it 1 line or 2 lines of the photos, unless you scroll down immediately. So biography, very important. And then obviously you can make it look good, aesthetic and all that thing, all those things. Is there any questions, by the way?
Not currently, but I want to also mention this, that if anyone has any questions, you can always write in the comment section and we will pick it up to Aleksi.
Okay, perfect. Great.
Yeah.
So all the bells and whistles. if you know what that means. So all the fancy things. And this is regarding Instagram. These are I'm gonna pinpointing a few things, not everything, that I personally deem valuable for Instagram, that's something that I use daily, especially. So hashtags. I think this is, if you do any marketing, you should know these things already. So you should mark down the company's most relevant hashtags. What are the hashtags that are directly linked to your company? You should have an Excel sheet or a note sheet or somewhere where all these hashtags are. And then on top of that, maybe you have your own company hashtag that you're always putting somewhere. So these are really important because this through hashtag is how you're getting noticed. It's essentially Google or Instagram. You should always be using hashtag anywhere and everywhere. We're not talking about only under the picture. Once you post a picture, you can put hashtags into the biography. You can put hashtags into your stories. You can put hashtags into the reels. So these are really important for engagement. That is how people find things on Instagram. And what's great nowadays also, you can follow hashtags. So if you type a hashtag into the search page, where you go find the explore page, so the second tab from the bottom, from the left on Instagram, you go there, you type a hashtag, you can follow that hashtag. Now that whenever something gets posted on that hashtag, it ends up on your feed. So me personally, I have a lot of photography related. I have sponsored by, I'm following that hashtag just to see how people kind of do collaborations and so on with companies. Was there a question somewhere?
Can I ask?
Am I hearing? Yeah, go for it.
How many hashtags are enough? Like, for sometimes currently when you're putting many hashtags, your post kind of is not visible on the first page. It goes down because of the maybe latest Instagram algorithm. So how many hashtags are enough hashtags?
I don't see a reason why you wouldn't use over 20 hashtags. It's allowed to put 30 hashtags, so why not use that? For me, funny enough, I have, I can actually show it to you right here. So what I do is I have notes. Where's my camera? These are notes of all the hashtags that I have ready. So I have tons of these. There's 30 of these pages on my phone. All I do is copy paste and I just paste them into that. I might change a few of them around then once it's pasted into Instagram and then I post it. So I'm always using 30 hashtags pretty much. I've noticed that if you use anywhere under probably 15 to 15 or under 10 hashtags, it most likely won't garner a lot of engagement for you, but it doesn't also guarantee if you use 30 hashtags every single time that you're going to be seeing a lot of engagement. It's just, that's how it works. I personally have my ups and downs when it comes to engagement on Instagram. It's just the name of the game. And let's just put it this way, that you rather use as many hashtags as possible and relevant ones than not use that many relevant. Yeah. So what's the difference between 10 and 30 hashtags? So
also, just Aleksi, one thing. Would you mind making the presentation full screen? I think then the letters can be seen from there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on it right now. Ugh, I hate that I didn't take this thing off.
There's this one question. It is, how do you select the best hashtags? Do you go for niche ones or broad ones mainly?
Both. I go for both. So I know there's a lot of myths going around that if you use super popular hashtags, they won't give you the engagement that you want. That's not entirely true. It's just not. I haven't seen a difference in that. I like to mix it up just because. So it doesn't really matter. But for me personally, I think a thumb of rule to maybe give a concrete answer is that I don't go for any hashtags that have under 20,000 uses or 10,000 uses. So anything over that, I will use those hashtags. Hope that helps out. Okay, and then geolocation. So meaning that putting the location where you are. If you're a company, you can actually create your own location. So you can make it, I can call it Aleksi's office. what you have to do is you have to have an Instagram page for your company, and then you have to, through there, make a mark down the location of your company, and then it's going to automatically save because Facebook and Instagram, well, Facebook owns Instagram and so on. So then next thing you know, you go to locations on Instagram, you put a location, your company's location is there, and every company should be doing that because that's one way to find out where your company is. Also, if you're using the location, tagging it, most likely you can get on the explore page for that area. So if your company is, let's say, in Kamppi, you could get into the Kamppi stories that's on the explore page. If you go to like Kamppi, the hashtag Kamppi, or you just write Kamppi area, you can actually maybe see your post over there, or your stories, or whatever you posted at that time with that location. So it's, again, another way to be seen and be found. And also, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, post your location. Now, obviously, if you're posting a selfie from your kitchen, then it's maybe a little weird to put, your exact location and where you live. But we're talking about business side, so you should always have a location there.
Okay.
And
about the previous, sorry to cut you down, about the previous hashtags, there was this another question from LV. They asked, do you use an instant hashtag tracker? If yes, which one?
No, I don't use an instant hashtag tracker. I have tried them. I don't see that much use for them. I don't condone it. If you want to use them, go for it. But me personally, I'm guess maybe old school, if that's fair to say. I'll just go through a bunch of hashtags, look at relevant hashtags within that field, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly is the insights and benchmarking. So Instagram has a lot of great insights you should be following. Not only following, but you should be also tracking down what insights are most relevant to you, and then tracking those, seeing the growth, whatever is happening, if it's going up or down over time. That's something that you should be really doing, because then you can shift your social media plan or your Instagram content plan a little bit, depending on, like, let's say I want more for Surrogate, for example, I want more people in the United States to see my post, and not only United States, maybe more West Coast, because we have a lot of people from the East Coast already playing. I want to get more seen. So what do I need to do? Well, first I need to see that how many people do we have, and you go through insights. You see major cities that you're being seen and so on. Now, if no city pops up from the West Coast, like California or Los Angeles, whatever the target is, I'm going to try then focusing my content towards there, whether it's through or posting times when it's relevant to that time zone to post. So before work, at lunch, after work, and so on. So these are little bit things that you need to kind of benchmark and find out, because then you can tweak your social media or your Instagram plan to help out that area of whatever you're trying to focus on, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're going to get into the content part, which is my favorite. That's why there's a yay. So what form of content will you post? These are things to consider, obviously, before or when you're making a social media or an Instagram plan, content plan. So we're not talking about only photos and videos. Maybe you want to post GIFs. Maybe you want to post some picture posts. Whatever that is, you have to decide that, and then you have to decide what is the goal of this content that you will post. Why should I post pictures with text on it only? What are we gonna benefit? Are you trying to teach people something? So like I said, videos, pictures, GIFs, informational, picture posts, blah, 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 so on. And then how often are you posting? And these are really, what I've noticed, and myself, I'm very guilty of this 98% of the time, when I come to a new situation, new company, or for myself, how often posting is, I'm always aiming too high. Always aiming too high. I mean, obviously, if I could, I would post 4 times a day. But it's just not reality right now. Especially, let's say I'm working for myself, or I'm working with a company of 20 people. You're most likely the only person who was making that content and posting that content. There's no way that you're going to have time to do everything. If you find a way, I want to shake your hand and congratulate you. That's amazing. But also, you don't need to be posting 4 times a day. It all depends on, what is the goal. So the very first slides that I showed you, what is the goal and what is the intention of your Instagram profile? So you can tweak it around. First, you can start off with, okay, I want to post twice a day. See if that works out. Do you have enough content? Do you have enough time to post a content? Do you get enough engagement to that content? Do you need to switch around the times you're posting? Maybe you take away on Mondays, you only post once, and then Tuesdays you post twice, and then I don't know. You have to this is something that you have to test out. You can decide first, but don't think about it too long. Go test it out, then come back and tweak it again. Then you have to decide, do you create your own content or do you want to use user-generated content? So user-generated content, hopefully everybody knows what that means. So that means that people are posting pictures and tagging you in it, and you're reposting their pictures onto your profile. Or they send you pictures through whether DMs or some email or whatever, and you're posting their content. That is one form. Now, that's a great way to do it because you don't need to be in charge of generating the content. If you trust your user base is good and your customers are good at generating the content themselves, they take quality photos and so on. So it's a very good way to do it.
There is also another question that me asked about the publishing of the content, like how to define the timing of publishing posts on Instagram for a high reach.
For what?
How do you define the timing of publishing posts on Instagram for a higher reach?
Yeah, so that is knowing your user base or your customers. And I've always said that use common logic. When are you most likely going to be on your phone personally? Think about it. So most likely you wake up, you'll be on your phone if you have time in the morning. If you commute to work and you don't drive a car, that you sit in the public transportation, you're on your phone. Lunchtime, you're on your phone. And right after work, you're on your phone. And maybe before bed, you're on your phone. Now, these are all times that you could be posting and should be posted. So that's what I use. Over time, you will also get to know your customers and your users, or if you already know, then you're going to have to get more specific to time zones depending where they are and so on, and then tweaking from there. Okay, so I know for a fact that USA is East Coast is 7 hours behind Finland. So when it's 3 o'clock here, it's 8 a.m. there? Is my math good? Is that correct? Yeah. So now I know that 8 a.m. most likely people are just starting work. So maybe I'll post something at 2 p.m. here in Finland, and it's going to be on the East Coast at 7 a.m. Most likely that's when people are commuting to work. I will post my first piece of content for that day. Mm-hmm. So that's my logic when using.
That is like knowing your audience and their time zone and like when they're the most active. So like, let's say for an example, if your audience are students, so like looking into like other than the class times, when is it? If they're like officials, when does the office ends? Like within those times, I think a good market research on the audience would be the right way to define the timing of publishing posts.
Yes. So knowing your audience is very important. Mm-hmm. So that's again, like I said, the slides before, insights. If you've gone through your insights, done your homework on your audience, you will have answers to this. When do you post, or what kind of content do you post? So, for example, I can use again Surrogate here. Recently, I tweaked the plan a little bit. We were posting, before lunch here in Finland, I was posting things and it wasn't doing anything. Nobody's liking it unless they were people here in Finland. So we switched the plan to, I'm just going to be sharing lots of things on Facebook and Twitter rather than our own content, because that's the more important content. That's the informational content, our own content. And then later in the day, I'm going to be scheduling stuff when I've left work. So maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. There will be posts scheduled to go live. That is our own content that I've created. That is informational. That is valuable to the users or to the customers and the audience. Mm-hmm. So that's something we tweaked a little bit. Before it was like we just put content all throughout the day, and then we looked into the insights, talked to our audience, What do you guys prefer? Do you guys see these posts? Have you been seeing these the last few months? And people responded that no, we did not. I'm not awake at that time. I'll try to be awake. And I said, no. There's no reason for you to be awake when we post something on social media. That's not your job. It's my job to find you when you're on Instagram or whatever it is. And then we tweaked it.
Mm-hmm. I think Yurate, I don't know if I pronounced the name right, but she added that in settings you can see on which hours your followers are the most active.
Yeah, you can also see that.
Mm-hmm.
So you on the insights there is the problem is that it's not maybe the most up to date always. I've noticed that for some reason it is not the most up to date. But yeah, that is something you can get started with. If it was me, I'd take it a step further and ask them personally, hey man, or someone who is your audience, ask them, just I don't know, DM them directly, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, what do you prefer? That we post something. Are you available? Or how about if we post something at lunch, and will you be available to see it? Or when are you most active on Instagram? I've actually done that directly. So if that's your company, your business, that's something you should be doing, in my opinion. You're kind of building that community aspect, which is very valuable, because at the end of the day, those people can do a lot for you, not just liking and commenting and so on in other ways as well in the future. You never know. So kind of building that relationship is really important with your audience, not just to try to bait them into, liking your posts and sharing them for, your personal gains.
Mm-hmm. And then there is another question from Yutismita. She asked, does the caption of your post also define or affect how Instagram algorithms work?
It does. Not directly. So it's how it fixes that. If you write a long caption and it's engaging, meaning that it's I do it sometimes on my personal. I've been doing it lately. You write kind of like a story. So for me, it's super easy. For example, if you see this slide now, this picture of me here, this is in Lofoten, Norway. I could post this picture on Instagram, say immediately like, oh yeah, this was after a 15-kilometer hike. It was around 11 p.m. at night. We had just set up the tents. Then we explored the beach and so on. We explored the beach. We took some pictures, and then we went to sleep. I could say that that's a caption. Obviously, I'd make it a little bit sound better. Now you've read a whole story, and you've ended up being on my picture for a longer time, and Instagram sees that. They see that you've been sitting and using time on this person's posts.
Mm-hmm.
That helps out with engagement. So they basically they've been longer on your profile and your picture. And yeah, like I said, Instagram sees that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a trick there. So, and also, writing something like, I could write here, oh, awesome sunset in my eyes and had a great day. That's not really providing value to anybody, It's not really engaging, that caption either. So preferably you should always be thinking of an engaging caption. Maybe ask a question. That's the most easiest way you can get engagement. Ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Your caption. So they're forced to comment on it, or maybe they'll DM you if you're getting more engagement out of it. So tools to, sorry, go ahead.
Actually, there is another question, but it is about have you ever partnered with any influencers to promote campaign or content on Instagram? Me asked the question.
Well, let me see. Have you ever partnered with influencers to promote campaign content? I have. Yeah, I have. So mainly most of my travels is through partnerships. So meaning that I get a lot of products on the way. For example, if I go travel and I need to rent a car, most likely I will do a partnership with a car rental company, and they give me the car for free or the price off. And in exchange, I give them exposure, or I send them photos or videos or whatever that is. Same to do with lodging, housing, some tools, photography tools for myself. Even presents to my girlfriend. I've done that. So definitely, yeah, it's one of the perks. if you have a good following, that you can partner up with companies or even other influencers to work with them. So I do also try to work with a lot of influencers, because they're doing the same thing you are. If you find the same niche, you can help each other out. You know, a lot of these influencers, we live for content. Content is king, as we say. So what's better than just hanging out together and creating content? So we do partner up, and then you kind of also, I'm showing my fan base or my followers, this guy and his followers see me, and we're in the same niche. So automatically, you're helping yourself grow.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think also, like, for businesses, like, why they partner with influencers is the same reason as that.
Yeah, for sure. So we did, for example, here at Surrogate, when we launched our second ever game, it was like a online, like a pinball game. We have a physical pinball over there, like a super rare one that you can play online every day, all the time. We did it with the world's biggest pinball influencer. It doesn't sound much if you don't care about pinball, which is not many people. But he has a huge following base. He lives in the United States. We flew him out here, gave him hotels, gave him the whole tour of Finland and everything. And then we shot tons of videos with him. And that helped us get tons and tons of exposure, just tons of exposure organically.
I think that is the best part, because, like, you're being in your niche. You don't need the people who are not interested about pinball. You only need the people who are interested about pinball. And if that is through that influencer, because I think a lot of people look for, I want influencers who have like 3 million and 4 million followers. Like, what are you going to do with those 3 and 4 million followers if they're not interested in your product? So, like, much rather than the numbers, concentrate on the depth of the influencer that you're hiring for your company.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. So I can get back into this, but yeah, keep asking questions. They're really good questions. It was actually much better that I bounced out of the slide because it's fun seeing faces again.
Mm-hmm.
So tools for creating content. Hopefully everybody knows Adobe Creative Suite. So we're talking about Lightroom, Photoshop, Illustrator, and then the mobile-only products such as Adobe Rush, Adobe Spark. Well, you can get on the desktop as well nowadays. These are all great tools to kind of create content on the fly, or then just in general. Then there's Unum. I'll talk about later. It's an app to help you visualize your feed before you post it. So you can put all your content into there and organize it to look aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Unfold app is to create stories, templates, and Video Leap is to edit videos. And these are all apps. So if you guys want to look into those, go ahead. And then these are extras that I came up with. Envato Elements is it's a website that you subscribe to, and you can get tons of overlays. You can get generic videos, and it's all copyright free, sounds, music, everything like that. So you pay like a monthly fee to them, and you can download whatever you want and use them all in your videos copyright free. Same with Epidemic Sound. It's a huge library of just music and sounds. And Stripe Sound as well. So these are big things because obviously you can't be using songs that you hear on the radio. You can't be using on your videos, for example, or any of your content that you post, unless it's the stories itself where you can post it for like the 15 seconds that it's allowed. Where am I next? Why isn't this? There we go. So this is actually, I noticed this was my last presentation. I was there at Shortcut, but quickly, we're going to talk about, I just quickly want to mention that figuring out the posts, the form of posts. So this is really important to me. That's why I don't mention this, because I see a lot of people posting, for example, landscape photos. Those are the horizontal photos that get really small if you post them on Instagram. It just doesn't look good. You want to use the whole real estate that Instagram provides for you. So when you're posting onto your feed, you want to post a 1x1, so a square photo, or a 4x5 photo. If you know anything about editing, cutting, cropping videos or photos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then stories, obviously they're the vertical form, and you should keep them only vertical form because again, you're using the whole real estate. It looks amazing on the full screen of your phone if you're posting the stories. And same with the highlights. I'm going to talk about the highlights later. Then there's Adobe. Yeah.
There's just another question, and it is, can we use pictures from other accounts without their direct permission if we just give credits for them? People repost a lot. Elsa Maria asked the question.
You can just give them credit, but if I was you, I'd go the extra mile and ask them, DM them. I don't know why you want to do that. Like, why are you in such a hurry that you can't just DM the person? Because you get a good feeling. I had this happen to me last week. A company came out to me and they said, hey, like, we saw your video, looks amazing. We would really love to use it, and made me feel good. You know, they could have just posted it. And then we got to talking more. We were just talking there. I told them, of course, use it, you know, as long as you tag me, and said, yeah, of course. And they said, hey, you got really, really good pictures as well that could I use them as well? I said, sure. And I will send you the direct photos from my, from my computer. So you don't need to use the bad quality from Instagram. So I noticed that the same person said that they don't reply.
They don't reply.
Then just go ahead. I know it's tough, especially if it's a page with a lot of followers. You're going to get put out into the other inbox, and they'll probably never check it. So thumb of rule there is that always just mention that account that you have reposted. That's the least you can do. I again had this about a month ago. Someone had taken my photo, posted it. My follower DM'd me and told me, isn't this one of your photos? And I said, yes, it is. Where'd you find this? And he said, on this account. And I went over there and I sent this guy a message. He didn't read it. So what did I do? Well, I used my audience to my benefit, and I posted a story and tagged this guy and said, this guy has stolen my photo and used it without my credit. And now he has already gotten all the engagement, because all the engagement comes in the first hour or two maybe, and then it kind of dies down. So he had already gotten all the engagement, and he had mentioned me, and then he saw it. And then he said, hey man, I'm really sorry. I don't know. I didn't receive the photo. It was like a collaboration. He started just like talking circles around me. And I just noticed that he was lying. And then he said, hey, could you take down the story? I'm like, sure, I'll take down the story if you can delete the photo. And he refused to delete the photo. And he said, I'm going to give you credit and I will shout you up on your story as well. I said, okay. And then I told him, but could you still take the photo down? And he said, no, because my feed looks aesthetic. I don't want to take it down. I said, that's not really my problem. You used the photo without permission, and I am the owner of this photo, and I'm asking you to take it down. So he refused, and then he shouted me out, and I reported the photo while he was doing all this because he refused to listen to me, and the photo got taken down, obviously, because I could prove that it's my photo to Instagram. And either way, his feed got messed up, according to him.
Yeah.
He was really upset, and what happened is that he just started calling me names and other things after that. And I just said, hey, that's what happens when you don't ask permission. Like, I asked you, I was nice about it. I didn't call you names or anything. You stole my photo, and you told me you don't know where you got it. Yet you post a photo without knowing where you got it. That's not good practice for a guy who does collaborations with companies. So that's what happened there. So it can get kind of murky sometimes. And that's why I'm saying always give credit. That's the least you can do. So Adobe Rush. If nobody knows what this is, it's to make videos on your phone. So it's an app.
This should be like Friday nights.
Nothing crazy to it.
This shit made me feel alive. Feel like we in paradise.
And that video has 200,000 views for some reason. Simple as that. I created it on Adobe Rush, just filmed some videos while I was in Norway. with my phone. So again, don't need a special camera. I have a great camera and use my phone to do this, and it got me all the views. And you can do transitions on it. And most important for me is the color correcting. So I can correct all the colors and make it look vibrant and so on, so it looks good. So that's a definite must-have. Fold. This is to make story templates, as you can see. I call it toolkit for storytellers. It's good for aesthetic. Pause that. It's good for the aesthetic and the branding opportunities that come with it, so you can make everything look a certain way. These are my stories from last year when I was traveling to Catalonia in Spain. So I was making tons of these stories showing out where I'm going and what the place looked like, and I'm on my way. So I'm kind of documenting my journey. And then obviously Lightroom, if nobody knows, you can get mobile Lightroom. It costs €5 a month. You don't need the Adobe subscription, which costs around €30 a month for all the programs. Yeah, it's, in my opinion, it is the best photo editing app there is. They keep making better constantly. And then there's Unum, which I described that it helps you build your feed. So if you can see from, I don't know if you can see, well, you can see it in the palm of the hand. This is essentially a feed. You can move the pictures around. So those are pictures that they posted onto the Unum app before they posted actually onto Instagram. And you can move the pictures around to see, like, okay, if I post this next and that there and there and there, does my feed look like cohesive? Does it all blend together and look really nice looking, if they like to say? Because a lot of feeds, they're just, you know, if you look at a feed, scroll down, it's just a lot of company feeds, it's just plastered photos. There's no thinking of how it looks like to the eye. It doesn't look too pleasing because there's some videos, there's some weird colors, their colors are changing constantly when they're posting different kind of content. So that's why I personally like this Unum app a lot. And then I just want to check, is there any questions?
No, not currently.
Okay, perfect. So I think this is the most important thing that I want to discuss about nowadays. Ironically, it only has 3 lines, but it is the most important. So paid ads. Right now, what I've noticed is this is the best way to grow on Instagram. I know everybody wants to get hundreds, thousands of followers on Instagram. That's the thing, become famous. Unfortunately, it's just not realistic nowadays, but also it's not needed. It is not needed. You need to find your target audience. That's the most important thing. And through paid ads is how you find them. So I'm not going to get deep into how to do paid ads. If you have questions, I can help out or answer some questions. But finding your niche audience, that is the best use for ads, in my opinion. Targeting those people who don't know about you. Targeting those people that maybe don't use Instagram a lot, that are only on it a few times a week. Getting those kind of people, that's what ads are for. And the procedure is that you test something out, you measure it. So you go through the insights, or you look through the insights of the ads, and then you rinse, repeat, and you keep going around until you've accomplished whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how much money you need to put, because it really varies on the budget of your companies.
Exactly.
But preferably, what I would say is that run ads all the time if you can afford to. That is the best way.
And also with like Instagram and Facebook, you can always create lookalike audiences. So
Yeah.
try doing that, because that is where you know already, okay, so these are my customers who are interested in my company, in my services, in my products, and then run more ads by increasing the ratio and just go on for more lookalike audiences. You don't even have to go for newer customer segment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you hit it right in the head. Like if you've done a good job in your social media marketing, you're most likely to capture these people's emails.
Exactly.
All you have to do is create a lookalike audience based off the emails, and you will find these people, and people like them. Ads, and it's not maybe that easy as we make it sound, but if you keep trying new things, tweak a little bit things, try different content, try different text captions, different posting times, or whatever the case is with the ads, you will at some point, you're going to get some success out of it. It's also I know it's a little well, to be honest, for me personally, it does suck. Sorry, the language. That paid ads are the only way to grow nowadays. Like for me, I keep losing followers nowadays on Instagram. It's also because I'm not maybe as active as I used to be, and we can blame Corona for this a little bit because I can't travel. But it's just not. It's Facebook and Instagram is a business. They want to make money. That's the bottom line. So the paid ads is really overpowering nowadays, and also there's just billions of users. There's more competition, so it's hard to stand out. That's why if you're social media savvy enough that you know when a new social media app appears, let's say like TikTok, or a new feature is presented on an existing app like Reels, if you know what that is on Instagram, you should be hopping on those 100% on those trends or on those new features and just trying to post to those constantly. Because a lot of people aren't using it, and the engagement rates are through the roof because no one else is doing it at that point. So, for example, Reels, I started doing them immediately when they came onto Instagram, and I was having great success. I was comparing them to my photo, the likes and the engagements, and how many people see them and so on. And because I hopped on, I started posting twice a day in the beginning of the first week of when Reels came out. I was getting great engagement. Same thing with TikTok. I was a little bit late, but when the boom happened around, was it March, April? It kind of blew up. TikTok, I hopped on it and I posted, and I had tons of followers. Now I haven't posted too actively on it, but at that point, like every video that I put out was going mini viral or viral in Finland. I can't say viral because for some reason they don't reach the United States. And ironically, a lot of kids who are on these social media apps, they're smart. They are smart kids. They might seem mean and kind of weird sometimes, but they're smart kids, because I was posting stuff and a lot of the kids, they're like 13, 14, they're saying, dude, like your stuff should be getting blown up. You should be getting so many more views, but you're in Finland, right? And I was like, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. They're not reaching the United States. They're like, no, it's not reaching the United States. These are like, I was talking to some 14, 15-year-old kids on my comment section. And they said, no, it's not, because TikTok, for some reason, it's like somehow limited like that. Like you have to like be super lucky for you to blow up completely in the world out of here in the Nordics and so on. So hopping on trends, that's the thing.
Like absolutely, like when you also talked about the kids, I mean, I wanted to like share it, like like parents dissing on their children's like using all of this social media, but if you just look behind the creative of what these youngsters and kids are doing, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, kids are mean also nowadays, but they're not dumb. They grew up with social media. Me personally, just social media came after I was a kid. So they grew up with this. They know everything. As much we hate to admit it.
We're running a bit.
And I think with the
So I was just saying that
with the people so much.
Yeah, I was just saying that we have ran a bit over time, so we will like continue for 2 more minutes and then.
Okay, I'll be super quick. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, so highlights. If you guys don't know what they are, it's the red dots here, the outfits, wallpaper, TikTok travel. This is something to kind of organize your stories into different themes. So you should be able to make kind of themes out of the stories that you're posting. There's a reason why you're posting something. Save them and make them into highlights. One of them could be tell about your company in them. So you could have, about us as one of these highlights, and, make cool looking logos for them. They really stand out. Me personally, I check almost every company's these highlights if they put them there, and some of them are really informational, and some of them actually give you like discount codes that you can't find anywhere else, or so on. So you're also directing people to more content. through these highlights. So they're forced to spend more time on your page. And as I said, it kind of helps out with the engagement rates. You can promote your products with the swipe up feature, but that's again for companies that have over 10,000 followers only, but you're directly telling them where to go to buy your product. It's super good, the highlights, and I think everybody should do them. And honestly, like, they just look good. In my opinion, if you don't have highlights like this, it looks weird. I think they look good if you make it look good. So, and then, yeah, that was the last slide. Perfect.
Yeah.
That was two.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. And I also want to ask, like, if anyone has like any questions later on, would you be up for answering them? Then I and Namrata, we can both like forward the questions to you.
100%. Yeah. And you guys can always, find me on Instagram. That's where I will respond 99% for certain. I will. So, if you're on Instagram, hopefully everybody is on Instagram. I don't know why else we've been sitting here. But yeah, so you can always come DM me through there, my personal one, or you can, email me if you have something bigger in mind or so on. So no problem.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being a part of the show. There's a big comment. I would just read it super fast. Just a personal comment. Instagram seems to be full of myths. People say so different things about hashtags, about different times, and what works and what's not. Why?
Well,
I think if you're up for it, we can. You can.
That's a brilliant question, because that's 100% something that I think about all the time, and it's true. Instagram, if they told you how the algorithm worked, they're essentially telling them how their business is run. The whole point is that, you have to figure out, you have to post content to figure it out, what works and what doesn't. And the great thing about it is that if you don't know, you're forced to test out different things. And I think that's the best thing ever. You're forced to maybe get out of your comfort zone and create something unique or different that you wouldn't have to do yourself before that. So if there was a complete plan, guide, okay, if you post always at this time and do it like this and like that, I don't think it would work. It just wouldn't work.
Yes. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you so much, Namrata, also for co-hosting again. And it is so nice to see you. And Aleksi, also, thank you so much for being a part of the session.
Thank you. And thank you for all the questions. I had a great time. I need to go back to work now.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.